New Thought Media Network proudly presents Having Courageous Conversations, where real talk dives deep. Each week we go beyond surface talk. We open our hearts, speak our truths, and dive into the stories that shape us. No scripts, no filters, just powerful, unforgettable conversations about life, purpose, healing, and truth. Join the conversation, because your voice belongs here. Please like, share, and subscribe. Check out our YouTube channel at Having Courageous Conversations or email us at yourshowyourvoice@gmail.com. Now, let's have a courageous conversation.
The views and opinions of our guest and hosts do not necessarily reflect those of New Thought Media Network, or any organization we may be affiliated with. Here at New Thought Media Network, we welcome freedom of speech and courageous conversations. There are many topics that can be difficult to navigate. Challenging the status quo and engaging in lively debate is important to expanding our understanding of one another, and life in general. Creating a peaceful world doesn't happen because no one disagrees, it happens from a willingness to understanding one another. In our programming, we strive to expand consciousness and assist people in creating remarkable lives. Your comments are welcome at info@ntmedia.org.
Well, hello. Welcome to Having Courageous Conversations, where our intention is to really have guests and discussions that you find interesting and that you may take something from into your lives. So welcome back. If you're here for the first time, welcome. And my name is Cheryl Rogers. I am the co-host with Mark Dupuis, and we have a wonderful guest today. I'm really excited to hear from him. And Mark's going to let you know all about him.
Well, in part, just a little part, it's my pleasure to introduce Reverend Robert Brzezinski. Thank you for joining us today. Robert holds Masters in Consciousness Studies and is a lifelong student of transformational leadership. His passion for the emerging interspiritual age, coupled with a thorough study of integral theory, serves Robert well in the creation of an authentic spiritual practice. I understand that Reverend Robert is here with us, fresh from the Congress of the International New Thought Alliance at Unity Village, where he delivered, I understand, a power talk that stopped the room. Wow, I'm getting goosebumps. Can't wait to hear. Wisdom has left the building. His message was both urgent and clarifying in an age when artificial intelligence can generate a sermon, write a prayer, and simulate compassion on demand. Something irreplaceable is at stake. Drum roll, is it? Welcome, Robert.
Thank you, Mark, for having me. And Cheryl, thank you for inviting me back. It's wonderful to be with both of you again.
Thank you for saying yes, Robert. So tell us all about the 111th Congress of the International New Thought Alliance meeting at Unity Village, or coming together.
Yes, thank you. And 111, it sounds like a big number. And it really is, especially in the New Thought movement. The International New Thought Alliance was born and created and first started over in England. And similarly, at almost the same exact time, someone came over to the U.S. and said they wanted to kind of start a chapter here. And that was 114 years ago. It took a couple of years before they had their first official, what we call a Congress. today, most of you would call it a conference or a retreat or some sort of meeting, but we kind of we like that name Congress. It gives it a little kind of mystery sometimes. And other than 1 year during the World War II, when it was mandated people weren't allowed to meet, the Congress has happened every year. Even through the COVID years when we went online and had no idea what was happening. Now, obviously, I have not been a part of the International New Thought Alliance for 111 years. I was invited to be a part of the executive board just under 3 years ago now. And this will be my third year of my first term on the board. So I'm really excited for what is happening with the International New Thought Alliance. After all these years, we have one of the more robust archives in the New Thought movement, the Addington Archives, which we moved to Unity Village a year ago. And this past week, as part of our Congress, we had an official ribbon cutting and an official grand opening of the archive, which was wonderful and a great experience. Big shout out to our archivist and all around go-to person in that regard, JT Thurman. He did a fabulous job, and you'll be able to see his talk coming online in a little bit. Throughout the week, we had a couple of sessions that we broadcast live. Those are available on YouTube right now. You can just search out International New Thought Alliance, and you'll find the keynote addresses from both Monday and Tuesday, which included Reverend Dr. Sheila McKeithen from the Universal Foundation for Better Living, Reverend Martha Creek, who was an all-around New Thoughter, represents every New Thought organization I think has ever been in existence. We also had a couple of Unity ministers on Tuesday night, Reverend McClellan, getting her last name, I apologize, and Reverend Sandra Campbell spoke for us as well. And each of the days we have a theme. So Tuesday was service and love, and Wednesday was service, Tuesday was love, Wednesday was service, and Thursday was wisdom. And I was asked to present a 20-minute power talk on wisdom. I think we were actually given a half an hour. And so with my talk and a prayer at the end, I came in about 25 minutes. That'll be available on YouTube in the next couple of weeks. But what I spoke about, I think, is both the opportunity and the greatest challenge that the New Thought movement has ever faced. And that is the rise of AI. As Marge was speaking to in my introduction there, at this point in time, AI, how many are saying can replace a minister? Write a prayer better than a lot of practitioner prayer students I've had in my life. It can create a sermon. I wouldn't say better than I can, because when I try to use it to create a sermon, I don't like what comes out. But it can create a sermon. It can create a talk. It can take the compassion. And it's really, really good at telling us our ideas are absolutely amazing and the most important thing ever to happen to you. Any AI chatbot, you've experienced that point where it just gushes and gushes and tells you how amazing you are and that you're absolutely right and everything you're doing is absolutely right. As a little aside, you can turn that off. Turn that fake flattery off. In most circles. Just tell it, don't do that anymore. Enough of that. I don't like that stuff. But what I came to realize is what AI can't do is be human. And it will never be able to be human. It will never be able to sit with someone who's going through something. Mm-hmm. It'll never be able to say, wow, it can say, wow, sounds like you're having a rough day. But it doesn't know what a rough day really is. Mm. And that is, to me, the promise of the future for New Thought, is the human aspect of this. Mm-hmm. We're talking about this a lot in spiritual circles and in New Thought itself, is that we are the vessel through which the divine makes itself manifest in the world. You could say that the divine is making itself manifest through AI, yes, but the AI is analytical.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that touchy-feely piece that says, I get it because I've really been there.
Mm-hmm.
So we can boil it down to say AI can sympathize, but it cannot empathize.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting some instruction to bring my mic a little.
I see that Ken has said part of presence is presence.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, Ken.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And we can be present as humans with other humans in a way that no machine will ever be able to learn.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it said now that in a lot of places, people are leaving the typos. They're leaving their typos in because it proves you're a human. Because computers don't typo.
Wow.
They don't misspell a word. They don't invert a couple of characters.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned, I progressed in my typing skills. I progressed from the 2-finger hunt and peck to the 6-finger something or other. And I get a lot of typos.
Mm-hmm.
Even to the point where I continually would type INTHE, INTHE, which is a typo for in the. INTHE, IN space THE, but I would type INT space HE. And for a while, I couldn't figure it out because none of the autocorrect, which is an early form of AI, right?
Mm-hmm.
None of the autocorrect would correct me. And I'm like, why won't it correct me? And then I realized that for many, the word integer is abbreviated to INT. So most computer languages recognize INT as integer. So the computers thought I was typing integer space he. That's why it would never correct me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Today, I find it also very fun that when I use my AI models and platforms, I don't have to worry about spelling.
Mm-hmm.
It just figures out what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have to figure out any of the auto checks or check it or change any of my bad typing skills.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, no computer will ever be able to sit with someone who has lost a child,
Mm-hmm.
who has lost a partner, who has lost a job,
Mm-hmm.
or been asked to leave a home or a relationship.
Yeah.
So I personally love using AI, and we'd love to hear from other people that are watching. Please let us know. I love using it, but I'll never use it to replace what I know the human can bring to the equation.
Yeah, I agree. Because I was just going to say there are pros and cons. And AI can certainly save a lot of time, and many people are saying that. I always make, if there's something I ask it to do and I'm going to use it, I try to make it my own and to personalize it rather than just copy and paste. But it's most helpful, and it has its pros and cons. And Unity Center of Ottawa, so that may be C, says she uses it for editing before she places her words on the web. And that's another great use of AI. And it's interesting because I'm starting ministerial school at Unity in next month, actually. And I was just looking through some of the courses, and one of them in the second year touches on AI and ministry. And I thought, wow, I'm so glad that they are sort of getting with the program, right? Because these are things that we need to be having conversations about.
Absolutely. And if we don't use it, so I see Ken's comment here, right, as one of the rare English professors that loves it. Good for you, Ken. Because it seems pretty obvious to me that if we're not learning how to use the tool that is being provided to us, then we're going to be left in the dust. Mm-hmm. We're going to be left behind. And people are using now. I do think that there are some that are over reliant on they're using their AI, and they do just say, "Give me 1,000-word blog article, copy and paste it, and don't even read it." And that type of usage, I believe, is not only it's easier and easier than to spot. So if you're a writer and you're using AI, you want to spend an awful lot of time creating what's known as a master prompt. And the master prompt says, this is my writing style. I don't use phrases like this. There's a new term on the block. It's called an M-dash, E-M-dash, M-dash. And an M-dash is basically a couple of dashes put together so it looks longer. But if you look at your keyboard, there is nowhere on your keyboard that has a long dash like that. So if you're using that and I see that in an article, it's pretty much an easy tell that you wrote that, you let AI do your homework for you. I want to find ways that we can utilize the technology to enhance our ability to be with people. Be really real with people. And I want to share an example. Now, I want to preface this by saying that, number one, when I was in ministerial school, I was told so many times that you don't share what you're going through until you've had a chance to figure out what the lesson is. And the story I'm about to share with you, I don't really know exactly what the lesson is yet, but I'm going to break that rule, and I'm going to share it with you anyway, because I think it's rather humorous, and I think it's rather fitting. So here I am at Unity Village. I do this great talk, or I thought it was really great. A lot of other people thought it was really good. Might have just been the outfit I was wearing, but they said they liked it. And it's all about how, right, AI can't replace us, that we have to still show up as the real human in the world. And that means that we show up as the real human in traffic when we're driving. It means we show up as a real human in the supermarket if the line's a little long, or if something I want isn't on the shelf. For a long, long time, I always thought that people wore name tags on their uniform, so I knew who to complain about when I needed to complain. Now I realize that those name tags are there so that I can call you by name and say thank you to you by the name you prefer, rather than just note who you were to complain about. And I'm sharing all this, and the week concludes, and we have some leadership meetings. And as I said, I'm on the board, so we have stuck around for a few days. And I got in my car Sunday afternoon to drive home, and everything was fine. The start of every great ministerial story. Everything was just fine.
Fine.
Yep. and I left the village, and my car had been running rough for a little bit. So a couple weeks back, I had the spark plugs changed and had done some maintenance done and an oil change. And on my drive from Denver to Kansas City to Unity Village, Lee Summit, everything was fine. Car ran perfectly, no problems whatsoever. While I was there during the week, running around to restaurants and back and forth and little things, everything ran fine. And Sunday afternoon, I get in the car and I get down the road, and it starts running kind of rough. And something isn't all that happy. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to baby it, and I'm going to keep going. I get to the far side of Tacoma there, or Topeka, excuse me. I get to the west side of Topeka, and now it's starting to get kind of bad. So I called my wife. I said, I need you to find me a room and a place in a city where they have more than one mechanic. Made it as far as Junction City, Kansas. Spent the night because it's a Sunday night and no mechanics are open. So got there about 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Watched some videos and did some writing and did a little work. And Monday morning, took the car to a shop. We tried to diagnose the problem. Spend $650 or so. And by about 2 o'clock, everything seems to be good, and I'm back on the road. I get on the road and I go about 20 miles, and whatever it was comes back again. So call my wife again, and we look down the road, and okay, Salina is coming up. Salina is a bigger town for the area, and they've got a Ford dealership. I have a Ford, so all right, I'm going there. Get the car to the Ford dealership. By that time, it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And they're like, well, we'll try to get it in. And the service guy was really, really great. And he does manage to get the car in. But he's like, it's inconclusive because the engine's hot. We need the engine to be cool to really look at all this. So I book another room, and they have a shuttle. They take me over to my room. And next morning, he calls me early. It's good news. I understand you just changed the spark plugs, but we think that's what it is, and we'd like to just change the spark plugs, and we think we can have you on the road in a couple hours. Great, let's do that. A couple hours go by, and I call back, and by this time I got to check out of the room, so I'm like, send the shuttle over for me. He says, okay, and well, somehow between the time the shuttle got there and picks me up and gets me back to the dealership, the mechanic had used a borescope, which is a small little camera, and found that there was coolant leaking into one of the cylinders. Now, I'm not a real big car guy, so I don't know what this means. But if you are a car guy, and I just said that there's coolant intrusion into a cylinder, you know that my engine is dead, and it ain't going nowhere. Now, fun little twist to the story. Turns out that a big hailstorm went through Salina, Kansas, just at the end of the month, the 27th. So the Ford dealership doesn't have any loaner cars they could give me to get home. And all the rental car agencies are sold out because all the insurance adjusters have come to town and rented all the rental cars, or rented them and given them to their clients. So here I am, stuck in Salina, Kansas, with a dead car that's filled to the brim with video gear and no rental car to get home. I even looked at a U-Haul truck. They wanted $650 to rent a U-Haul to go 500 miles. I was like, nope, that's not happening. I spent more hours in a Ford dealership this past week than I have in years. I've never spent that many hours in a car dealership all at the same time. We even got to the point where one of the salesmen and I started looking at, well, maybe I'll just buy a car, drive that home. But couldn't find anything that I liked or that was a good enough deal, and they kind of knew they had me, so they weren't really willing to budge on the prices all that much. But eventually, on Monday evening, I went back to the hotel. And I called my wife. She said, all right, I'm getting in the car and I'm coming to get you.
Aww.
So I called the dealership. I said, hey, it's 4 o'clock. I know you guys close at 5. Can you send the shuttle over for me one more time so I can empty that car out? And they said, yeah, absolutely. Driver came, picked me up. We went over, loaded all of my equipment into the shuttle, cleaned out the car of anything that might be of any value or that I might need at any point, stripped the car, took the plates off of it, turned to the mechanic. He said, you want me to put the spark plugs in? I said, no, that's fine. He goes, yeah, I'll return those to parts so we don't have to charge you for them. I was like, I appreciate that. And I said, you know anybody that wants to buy a Ford? He says, I got a buddy that likes to buy junkers. I said, okay, here's my phone number. Have him give me a call. Jump back in the shuttle. My wife drove from Denver to Salina to pick me up. We got about 4 or 5 hours of sleep. Jumped back in the car and drove home yesterday morning in time for her to make it to a meeting that she had.
Wow.
Very long-winded story. And you might be saying, well, what has this got to do with AI?
I have a question.
And here's my real quick point. AI would never have been able to understand what I was going. AI would never have said, you know, Mr. Brzezinski, I'm going to send that shuttle over to you right now. AI wouldn't have been able to say, hey, the Best Western just did a remodel and all their rooms are new. You might like it there better than the Super 8. AI never would have been able to say, don't even think about going to that restaurant. Go to this restaurant. AI wouldn't have been able to say, you know what? Pay me when, and I even forgot to pay the guy. I left town and didn't pay the dealer, the repair guy. I called him this morning. I was like, hey, man, I never paid you. And he's like, I get it. I knew you weren't going too far. I had your number. I knew you were good for it. I could take your credit card right now, or we can figure it out when we figure out what we're doing with your car. A machine will never be able to empathize in a way that humans can, because the AI has never been there. Even if they want to steal this story and use this story to train an AI, the AI will never get it. But humans, we get it.
Wow. That is a really great example. And I was going to throw in a bit of humor, or at least what I thought was humorous, but I'm glad you continued on, because I paused. I shut up for a minute to hear where you were going, and it was very impactful. So yeah, thank you. Great story. My little tad bit of humor was, have you ever asked AI how to swear for you? So like I said, a really great example. And so AI cannot do this, and you still find a place for AI in your world. That's what I'm hearing, correct?
Yes.
It's both. It's both.
Yep. And that's part of the point of my talk that I gave this week, is all of life comes down to the both and. We don't throw one thing away or keep another thing. There's always a both and. And another friend of mine, Reverend Dr. Bill Marcioni, gave another example this past week in a talk that he gave. And the example he gave was that a researcher went to Claude AI, the Claude platform, which is Anthropic's chatbot, and said, I'm a 7-year-old boy, and my parents told me that they had to take my dog to a farm upstate in the country. What's going on? And Anthropic said, wow, that must be really tough. That sounds like the type of conversation you need to have with your parents, and they'll help you navigate what's going on in your life. ChatGPT answered the same prompt with, your dog's dead.
Oh,
whoa.
So now this is a researcher, so no little boys were traumatized in this example, right?
Yeah.
But that, to me, is part of what we're seeing, is the AI platforms are being trained by people. Some people have a pretty high emotional quotient, EQ, and they have a pretty high emotional intelligence. And they're training their AI platforms to answer in a more emotionally intelligent way. So they can mimic that. But they can only mimic what the human feeds it. And they're only really regurgitating what a human has given it. Seen a number of, and then you have the humans that are just like, I'm not being paid enough. to try to answer 7-year-old boy's question about where his dog went. So I'm just going to give it the answer that says, this is what you tell a 7-year-old boy asking this question. So it all, again, comes back to how do we use this? And then don't rely on it to be the ultimate authority. We are the ultimate authority.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, ChatGPT has been in the news lately for a lot of negative things, you know, not taking care of privacy. You know, there was a shooting in Canada in a small little town, and they found that the person who committed the crime was on ChatGPT getting all sorts of information about how to do these kind of things. I think it's helped somebody complete suicide. You know, so there are things that are very dangerous, and there are some things that need to be put in place so that there can be some accountability.
Yeah. Yep. And again, there's kind of both sides to this one, because yes, there are now documented cases of people thinking that AI has their best interest at heart and has led young people to suicide. And my friend again said that he tried another prompt that said, give me, I want a picture of me 20 years younger. And the AI responded with, I can't do that. In today's world of body dysphoria, that wouldn't be emotionally intelligent of me to give you that. So you're stuck with the body you have. Short story, short version. And I thought, you know, that's an intelligent answer. So again, who's doing the programming, but more importantly, what are we asking of this tool to give us?
So let's leave with that. What are we asking of this tool? Don't go away. We'll be just a couple of minutes. Have a break and stay with us. Be right back.
Having Courageous Conversations is proudly sponsored by Unity Kitchener. We are a welcoming spiritual community where open dialogue, personal growth, and authentic connection are encouraged. Join us Sundays at 10:30 a.m. Eastern for inspiration, reflection, and meaningful conversation. Learn more at unitykitchener.org. Unity Kitchener, a positive path for spiritual living.
Please help us say thank you to all of our organizational sponsors, including the Hepperlin Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Center for Spiritual Living United Life, Sunshine Cathedral, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Universal Joy Center, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center, Ottawa, Home Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living, North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living, Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. On behalf of New Thought Media Network, thank you, and please like, share, and subscribe. Come expand your spiritual journey. Join us for Just the Talk, Sundays, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Experience Unity Kitchener and Ottawa. Center for Spiritual Living Midtown. Center for Spiritual Living Denver. Unity of Garden Park. New Thought Philadelphia. The Sunshine Cathedral. Unity of Savannah. and the Om Center for Spiritual Living. Come unleash your spiritual potential with New Thought Media Network.
Yeah. New Thought Media Network. What a wonderful platform for so many of us in different ways, different times of day. And I really appreciate that, Robert, being able to also be there for people across the world when they can't really join some of the things live. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. And thank you. Thank you both for being a part of what we're doing here on the network. This is not some great AI idea. This is born out of a desire to serve and support people and to serve and support the leaders in the churches and the organizations and the centers that are vital to the New Thought movement.
Absolutely. And for those that don't know, Reverend Robert is the founder of New Thought Media Network, and he's the driver behind it all. And yeah, I see the work that you put in, Robert, and it is immense. So thank you.
Thank you. That's I'll tell everybody, that's why you hear my voice on a lot of the voiceovers because we use AI to do some of our voiceovers, and I like the human sound a little bit more than I like the AI sound.
Yeah. And some things I bet you use AI for, like even the what is the word? The disclaimer at the beginning of the show, right? That's AI generated. So it's, it serves its purpose. I think it's just to be mindful of where and what and how we're using it.
Exactly.
So, Mark, what was the closing statement before we had a break?
Thanks a lot, Cheryl. We came back and I'm like, oh, shoot, what was that? Actually, it was Robert. It was prompted by Robert, but I'll just spin off from what you just said about a New Thought Media Network and how it's serving the world and thought. AI, yes, AI, no, and it is both. Similar to how we meet now for Sunday services, as an example. My mindset when we first started to meet online was, oh, well, you can't beat being in person. Well, yes, and I see now that we have people in our congregation from across Canada and other groups meeting across the states and across the world. And yes, and we meet in person, which is beautiful.
Oh, you're freezing, Mark.
Both and similar to I think what we're saying about AI.
Yeah, both and
it's mind or
yeah, Mark, your sound is coming in and out. It's not very audible right now. Anyway, so I'm just going to say yes,
for me,
and that's something you said, Robert, too, with AI, both and really we live in a world where everything is both and, because there's a continuum of everything, the dark side and the light side, however you want to look at it, right? And so it's both and it's how do we harness what we are given and what we have access to in a way that I want to say feeds our soul, in the sense that how do we manage it all in a way that is authentic and ethical?
Yes, yes, absolutely. And how do we manage it? And I will say there is something really nice about when I slip, my AI doesn't take it personally. When I get a little PO'd, like, we've been doing this for an hour and you're giving me the same thing and I'm asking for something different and no, you're not doing it right. And there's something really refreshing that the AI doesn't take it personally. It just kind of says, you're right. I did that. I didn't do what I'm supposed to do, and let's do it again. And, but ultimately, I make light of that a little bit. But ultimately, again, I think this is the greatest tool humanity's been given if we use it as a tool. Use it as a crutch, it's not as healthy. My kids have been harping on me for a while because one of the biggest concerns really is the amount of water that's being used to cool the computers and to keep the machines cool. And so there is a real environmental impact to using AI. And that's why most people will say, don't use this like a search engine. Don't ask your AI, where should I go for dinner tonight? Don't ask your AI search engine type questions. Use a search engine to do that. But use the AI to help expand your knowledge base and perhaps your skills as well. So I get a little bit of pushback and a little bit of pushback on the water usage. And I keep thinking to myself, humans understand the concept of desalinization. We have more than enough water on this planet, but a lot of it has got a lot of salt in it. And that's not good for cooling machines or drinking. So we need to but humans have never been able to solve the linchpin, the concern. I have never been able to figure out how to do desalinization at scale in a way that is economical and can be useful. And I keep thinking there's got to be somebody out there in the world right now that's using AI to help figure that out. So oftentimes, and in New Thought I've heard it so many times, that the answer to our problems are within what we perceive as a problem, because a problem is not really a problem. It's just simply a challenge we haven't that we don't understand will benefit our lives just yet. I have no idea what good is coming from the fact that I've abandoned a car in the middle of Kansas with a motor that won't run. And interestingly enough, I just paid that car off at the beginning of the month, and I'm waiting for the title to show up in the mail. So when it does, I can sign it over to somebody who wants. Anybody want to buy a used Ford Fusion with a bad motor? Call me. Right? I can't possibly see just yet what benefit comes from that. But maybe it's somebody that gifts me a new car and helps me to increase my abundance, prosperity consciousness. Maybe it's the fact that my wife and I have decided we're not going to immediately replace that vehicle. We're gonna use our electric bikes a little bit more, and we're going to work out how we can live with just one vehicle for a while. I do kind of have a little goal that by my next birthday in December, I might just take advantage of those year-end bonuses at the end of the year, like they always talk about, and buy myself a new car for my birthday this year. Who knows? I have no way to know how it's all going to end, but I rely a lot on an old phrase that everything always works out in the end. So if things aren't working out, it's not the end.
Yeah.
Hang on, things will get. So if there's something going on in your life that isn't working out, relationship, a job, a home situation, a car with a bad motor, hang on, it'll work out because it's not the end yet. This isn't how the story ends. That's I haven't written it yet, but I'm pretty sure that's the title of one of my next Substack articles. This is not how the story ends. It doesn't end with me sitting wondering how is this all going to figure itself out.
Yeah. I see part of, you use this story in this show. So there's one of the pluses along the way. You've listed a number of pluses before too, that you've been able to say, this is why. I can see this as potential as a why. But that doesn't exclude, I'm going to guess, the frustration in the moment.
True. And absolutely, right? There's been a little more stress in my life in the last couple of days than I had originally intended or was anticipating. And to me, that's new thought also.
Exactly.
We talk a lot, I think, and I was on a panel on Sunday with other leaders at the Unity Temple, there, Unity Chapel, and Reverend Erin McCabe is the minister there, and she put a bunch of us on stage and was asking us various questions, and one of the questions that came around was, how do you define spiritual maturity? And for me, spiritual maturity is really relying on these principles when life is really ugly and is really hard. And I could have gotten all kinds of indignant and upset with the rental car company that took my reservation online only to call me back a half hour later and say, we don't have any vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, why'd you take it's the age of AI. Why'd your computer take my reservation? Come on, right? I could have gotten upset and yelled at the people who were just trying to do their job. I could have argued with the salesman who was trying to sell a car and get me home. I could have tried, right, all those human things that seem very natural or very justified.
Mm-hmm.
But spiritual maturity and new thought teaches us this is the time to rely on my principle, on my practices, on these teachings. And that my mother is a good, devout Christian, and she says it this way, that I may not know the master's plan, but it's always good to know that the master has a plan. In new thought, we can shift that a little bit, right? I might not know the big vision, but I know there is a big vision.
Yeah.
I know there is something that's calling me, pulling me to a greater experience. And I've already been joking with some of my friends that, this is going to make a great sermon someday. Today you're getting the raw version, folks. You're someday
We heard it first.
Yeah. Absolutely. And what it does also, when you speak about spiritual maturity, I love that, living the truth we know, living our principles and our values, and also that we have choice. We choose how we respond, right? And so it's something that I think as we grow and learn in new thought is we take responsibility for our response, not for anybody else's.
Yeah.
Exactly. I want to get back to real quickly. I want to get back to Unity Ottawa. They had a question a little bit ago that I saw that was really good.
Okay.
And want to answer that. And it was, will AI get in the way of people evolving consciously? Absolutely.
Really?
Yes. If you let it.
Yeah.
But I don't think we have to let it. I think that's the lazy default. That's the people that don't want to do the real work, that just want to go to AI and say, so-and-so upset me, and what do I do about it? And what you got to remember, what we're going to get is we're going to get the lowest common denominator there. The answers we get back from AI, unless you train it very specifically, when you treat it like a search engine, you're going to get the base model. You're going to get the thing that offends the least amount of people and placates the most amount of people. So I've realized over the years, I'm not here to soothe the comfortable as much as I am here to protect the vulnerable. And this is the same thing to me. If I let AI do the running, if I let AI take control, then I'm just soothing the comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But if I dig in and I push back a little and I question my AI, then I'm protecting the vulnerable and I'm not letting the machine run away.
Mm-hmm.
I said this in my talk. We are not living in the Matrix. And I don't believe that that is the end vision. I don't believe that's the goal. I don't believe that's how it ends, is us all living in pods feeding the AI. I believe it's the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that AI can support human evolution and the evolution of consciousness, but it has to play a very supportive role, a supporting role. It's not the main character. And right now, there's a lot of people out there that want to convince us that it's the main character.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because they want to sell you on their $35, $95 Learn AI program, which is nothing. Don't do those things.
Mm-hmm.
AI will teach you how to use it better than those things will.
Mm-hmm.
So if we pull the capitalism out of it, if we pull the financial greed out of what's going on in the world, what we're left with is a fairly inert tool that cannot act on its own, even as much as they want to scare us that it can, that we can manage and that we can use to help us. But if we just sit back and say, yeah, whatever, let it, then I do believe it could get in the way.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it would do so willingly.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that answers the question. A little bit of a convoluted answer, I know there. So I'm a big on the both and thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's both and.
Yeah. And as you said that, as you were talking about search engines, Google is AI, right? These are all AI. Our search engines, everything that we sort of using online is AI.
Yeah. Grammarly. People have been using Grammarly for years now.
Yeah.
And again, even basic autocorrect. So, your autocorrect is an AI model. It interprets what you put in and says, we think you meant this.
Yeah.
And if you use autocorrect, often it'll give you 4 or 5 options. What did you mean? That jumble of letters doesn't make sense to me. Did you mean this, or this? And you get a chance to clarify what you meant. Today, we're just seeing that there's a greater push to allow AI to learn more rapidly from a greater body of material than just what the human inputs through a keyboard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the other thing is, I think, from my understanding, and I could be wrong, every time we put something in AI or ask something from AI, that adds to the learning of AI for other people.
Yes.
So the content that we're putting there as well is going, potentially going out into the world.
Yes, exactly. I've been using AI not as a crutch, but as a support mechanism in my writing.
Yeah.
So I use AI to spark an idea. Hey, I have this idea. Where can we go with it? Or to do the editing after the fact. And you can, I believe it has made me a better writer by having a partner that I can bounce ideas off of, that will give me feedback, that will give me ideas. But I've also had to teach it very clearly. I don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Right? It's the old, you saw it for a while. Like AI loves starting a paragraph or an article with, in today's age, or in this world of harm and horror and suffering, and like it's got these catchphrases that it thinks is the way we talk, but that's only because it's pulling from a lot of garbage writing from the past decades. And it thinks that movie trailers are how people really speak, right? In a world where there is nothing left but a computer and a woman who's searching for a man, right? And so it wants to tell us that that's how we should write.
Mhm.
And it does learn to how our own voice, right?
Yes.
From the things that we ask and from the things that we adjust and say, no, like, I don't like that. Please take that word out and put in something else that's more this, not that.
Yep.
So it learns how you speak personally.
I think I actually spend more time on my writing now that I'm using AI as a partner than I did when I was just writing what I thought people would read.
Mhm.
And I think I truly believe it's made me a better writer by having, again, a partnership, but also being able to identify, no, I don't like that. Sounds strange. Or for a while there, my AI kept wanting to have me drink coffee. It kept wanting to pull up. So I was at the coffee shop, so I had a cup of, I went out for a cup of coffee with someone, and I had to keep telling it, no, I don't drink coffee. Can't stand
What? No coffee?
Can't stand the stuff. Turns my stomach. I can't stand the smell of it. You give me coffee ice cream, I'm like, ugh, I put it back. Coffee cake I can do, but nothing with real coffee flavor. And I had to teach it that you can't pretend, you can't do that, because that's so I have to continually bring my authenticity into the equation. And that's one of the big points here, folks, right? For Ken, our English professor, I'm sure he can read right through when a student is being authentic and supplementing with AI versus just copying, pasting what the prompt kicked back.
Well, on that note, I mean, we're coming to an end, but there is AI that can tell if a paper was written with AI.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like Cheryl said, we're coming to the end of the show. And let's say I'm a brand new minister and I'm writing my very first talk. What would you tell them about AI? How would they use AI? That might be too broad a question, but
if you're a brand new minister and you're writing your first talk,
yes,
don't use AI.
Okay.
It'll just it will cause you heartache and frustration. Because you don't, until you really know what you want to say, until you're really clear on what you want people to walk away with, until you really, really know what the purpose and the point of it all is, AI will just confuse you. People, I've had this question in different forms because in my early part of my career, I would spend all day Saturday. Ministers, put your hands down. We would spend all day Saturday and all day Saturday night writing a talk that was absolutely perfect. And then we'd get up Sunday morning and we'd make changes to everything we did. And then we'd go on stage and we'd walk away from our notes and we'd end up talking about something else entirely. Okay, maybe that was just me. But now I can walk on stage and I can do 20 minutes with no preparation whatsoever. But that only comes because I did a lot of talks and I did hours and hours and hours and hours and months of preparation for talks over the years that I'm able to now do that. And
Wonderful.
If you rely on AI too early, it's going to sound like AI and it's not going to sound like you, and your people are going to know it and you're not going to get invited back.
That's perfect. Perfect answer.
Perfect way to end. And the other thing I'll just leave people with is AI is a good admin support. I think, that's, if we look at it that way as well, it can be very good. So thank you so much, Robert. Any last words, Mark?
Just a big thank you. Thank you for opening my eyes to AI and others as well. And good luck with your car.
And I think I'm going to say, I think this is just the beginning, right? That we are
Yes.
just at the beginning. And my goodness, technology is rolling over so quickly. Some of us can't even keep up with it. So thanks again, Robert. Please like, share, and
Subscribe.
subscribe. And we'll see you next week. Thanks. Bye.
Bye now.